After nearly 3 years of full-scale war in Ukraine, the Russian opposition to President Vladimir Putin is at a difficult crossroads. With the movement's prominent figures in exile and those left behind forced to remain silent or face imprisonment, the opposition finds itself with no clear leadership. One of Putin's main opponents, Exiled Russian, welcomes us in Berlin, where he resides after being released from a Russian prison as part of a historic swap in August.
The Russian opposition had a leader, Boris Nemtsov. He was killed. The Russian opposition had another leader, Alexei Navalny. He was arrested and poisoned in prison. Today, there is no current task to join around one person. It seems to me that it is much more important to consolidate around common values.
The values of freedom and justice underpin the opposition's demands at a big November demonstration in Berlin, namely the withdrawal of Russian troops from Ukrainian soil, freedom for political prisoners in Russia, and bringing Putin to justice. The transfer of power in Washington next month is cause for concern among Russia's opposition in exile, which is waiting to see whether Donald Trump's pledge to quickly achieve peace in Ukraine will represent a radical change in military and political support for Kyiv. Trump has pledged to end the war before he takes office, but not said how. During a campaign debate in September, he refused to say that he wants Ukraine to win.
Until now, in the U.S. Congress, both Democrats and Republicans agree that Ukraine must be supported and that Putin is an aggressor. Now, another president will come, but we think the Congress continues to allocate money and will continue to allocate money to Ukraine.
But focusing solely on the actions or desires of the new administration is misguided, say some observers who consider it naive to think Putin wants peace.
From Putin's point of view, the Russian army is advancing. The economy continues to hold. Now, for the Kremlin, there is no need to compromise. So I would say that Trump will really try, but sooner or later, most likely, the United States will return to help Ukraine. The war will continue.
The war in Ukraine has been escalating ahead of the coming changes in Washington. Trump takes office January 20th. Meanwhile, exiled members of Russia's anti-war movement are trying to find a way to address a new reality. For Ricardo Marquina in Berlin, Elizabeth Chernev, VOA News.